Hello, my wise elders. Welcome back to this great channel. Have you ever spoken to the important women in your life, your mother, grandmother, and aunt, and heard them say, almost like a badge of honor, "Oh, I'm always up at 3 a.m." It's a phenomenon so common it's become a quiet trope. The house is silent, the world is dark, and there they are, awake. We might dismiss it as just getting older or a simple sleep disorder. But what if that wakefulness at 3 a.m. is not a malfunction, but a meaningful transition? What if it's less about the body breaking down and more about the spirit settling into a different profound rhythm? Today, I want to suggest that an elderly woman waking at 3 a.m. is experiencing a confluence of three powerful tides: the biological, the psychological, and perhaps the sacred. First, the undeniable biological tide sleep architecture changes as we age. We spend less time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep and more in the lighter stages. A noise, an ache, a need to use the bathroom. These can easily cause an awakening. The circadian rhythm, our internal clock, can also shift forward, making one feel sleepier early in the evening and wide awake in the pre-dawn hours. Hormonal changes after menopause play a significant role. So, there is a clear medical script: sleep fragmentation. But this is only the first page of the story. Because when you're awake in that profound silence at 3 a.m., you're not just a biological machine. You are a lifetime of memories, relationships, and roles. This brings us to the second tide, the psychological and emotional tide. Think of the life of many elderly women. For decades, their sleep was often transactional, interrupted, and in service to others. Waking to feed a baby, to comfort a child from a nightmare, to wait up for a teenager, to listen for a spouse. Their sleep was porous, permeable to the needs of the family. Now, in later life, that constant demand falls away. The nest empties. The relentless external noise ceases. And in that new, sometimes startling quiet, the internal noise surfaces. 3 a.m. becomes a theater of the mind. It is the hour of unbidden memory, of revisiting conversations, of reconciling with the past, of missing those who are gone. It is a time of unparalleled, uninterrupted introspection. This isn't necessarily insomnia born of anxiety. It can be the mind's natural, necessary process of integration. It is sorting a lifetime of experiences, making sense of the story she has lived. The psychologist might call it rumination, but it can also be the soul's work of review and release. Which leads me to the third, more contemplative tide, the spiritual or sacred tide. Across cultures and spiritual traditions, 3 a.m. hold a unique significance. In Christianity, it is the hour of God, the inverse of 3 p.m., the hour of Christ's death, a time for divine invitation and prayer. In Hindu tradition, it is the Brahma Muhurta, the Creator's hour, considered the most auspicious time for meditation and spiritual practice, because the world is at its most sattvic, its most peaceful and clear. What if an elderly woman, having shed many of her worldly obligations, is unconsciously aligning with this ancient rhythm? The children are raised, the career is concluded, the social bustle is faded. In this space, what emerges is not a void, but potential for connection to something deeper. That wakefulness may be a call to prayer, to silent communion, to simply being away that the busy daylight hours never allowed. It is a time for a conversation with God, the universe, or our own deepest self. A conversation that doesn't need an alarm clock. So, when we see it through this triune lens, the 3 a.m. wake-up is transformed. It is not merely a sleep problem. It is a biological shift, her body's new rhythm, a psychological process, her mind integrating a lifetime, and a potential spiritual opening, her spirit meeting the quiet heart of the world. Before we rush to prescribe a pill for this condition, perhaps we should approach it with curiosity and respect. Perhaps we should ask, what is that time like for you? The answer might be about pain or worry, and that deserves attention. But the answer might also be, it's my time of peace. It's when I remember. It's when I feel most myself. In a world obsessed with productivity and optimized 8-hour sleep cycles, the elderly woman awake at 3 a.m. is living on a different frequency. She is a witness to the deepest night, a keeper of memories, and perhaps a silent practitioner of an ancient, quiet wisdom. So, Let us not pathologize this wakefulness too quickly. Instead, let us see it in a powerful metaphor for this stage of life, a moving from the noise of the day into profound, sometimes challenging, but potentially luminous truth of the night. She is not just waking up, she may be tuning in. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned and how you'll apply it in your life. Your comments inspire us to keep going. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Elderly Care Tips and share. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating content that informs and uplifts. We appreciate you watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.